Hey Matrix Live, welcome to a very special edition. We have Philip, who is from Famedly. Famedly are a pretty cool company out in Germany. They're making tech for healthcare, but I'll let Philip talk a lot more about that. Why don't you say hello?
Hi, I'm Philip. I'm one of the co-founders of Famedly, and I'm originally a doctor. I graduated from med school in Germany, and but I didn't really want to work in a hospital because the processes are so bad. They still use the fax machine as one of their primarily used communication methods. So I got together with Nicholas, who studied with me, who's also a doctor, and we co-founded Family together. And yeah, we wanted to make these horrible communication processes better, and we started with that idea, and somehow ended up building something on top of Matrix, and that's probably also what brought me here today.
Yeah. So you were both practicing medicine for some time?
Yeah, so in Germany, the last year of your medical studies is like the practical year, it's called, and you have to work in the hospital. But we decided immediately after that to go another route, and we set ourselves an ultimatum until this and that time. And if we get something running by then, we'll keep doing this, and if not, we go back into the hospital and
Right.
really work as doctors.
Okay.
So we finished our studies, but then we immediately decided to do something else.
Right. Oh, I see. Gosh. So this is straight after studying, after your first practical year, you immediately started to do this. So which of you is the normally in a founder pair you have a business guy and a tech guy, but in this pair you're both doctors. So which is which?
Yeah, so let's say we're still in a very small group, or we're getting larger, we're growing, but in the beginning, like everybody did everything, and it's still a little bit like this, but right now it's the paths are dividing a little bit. And so Nicholas is doing more of the product side together with all the developers, and I'm developing more a little bit into the business side. So handling customers and everything, managing projects. But still, I mean, 80% of our team are technical people. So of course, I'm also involved a little bit in the development
Yeah,
process.
in the early days. So, all right. So let's talk about those early days then, because one of your hiring strategies is just to be able to check out the market in students and youths in Germany who are interested in Matrix, and you start. So you've been scooping them up, I think. But you started with Krilla, I think, who is Christian Pauly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Krilla, the developer of Fluffy Chat, or yeah, the basic Fluffy Chat, let's say, because now more people are also contributing to this. Yeah, this is basically so. Like in every founding team, we didn't have much money, so we got a scholarship, but that basically paid our rent, so that we could work on that. But then we needed someone who could actually code, because like we can code a little bit, but
Yeah.
we couldn't
You need to
do
deliver
this
something.
project.
Yeah.
Yeah, we needed real developers. And then Nicholas was spending hours on your GitHub repository and seeing who contributed stuff to Matrix and to the whole Matrix universe, and then he was just like started randomly contacting these
Yeah.
people
Yeah. Yeah.
through their GitHub email addresses. And then there was this coincidence that we were in Stuttgart at one weekend to go to a fair for medical software stuff. And we found out that Krilla was in Stuttgart for a hackathon at the same weekend.
Right. Okay.
And so we decided to meet up there, and it was like a very industrial zone where the where the hackerspace was, and we were like, where what are we getting into now? Like around the next corner, somebody's gonna rob us, and we came into this hackerspace, and like everything painted in the funniest colors and cats videos playing everywhere, and it was like for us a completely new
Yeah. 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 Completely
experience.
different
And then we
experience to
met
medicine.
Krilla, and we pitched him our idea, what we wanted to do, and he was like, and we were like, could you imagine doing this with us? We would hire you as a working student. He was like, yep, that's basically it.
So it's
So he
quite an
started
easy
working for
sell.
it.
I mean, you're basically saying, would you like to be paid to continue doing your, something you've been doing as a hobby? So
Yeah.
in a way, you had an easy sell. And then who came next? I'm guessing it was Sorunomi. Is that the next hire?
No, so it was MTR Notes and Marcel,
with Marcel,
and JC Grunhagen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So these two, so the three, they were the first basic team, and then like I think about half a year later or something, we brought Soru to the team.
Okay.
And then the others followed. Mm-hmm. I think one of our latest recruitments was Nico, the developer of Nico.
Yep. So how does it operate? And also, what is the relationship with Timo of Conduit?
Yeah, that was an interesting thing, because it was like a completely random thing, because we had after the first scholarship, we got another scholarship that gave us some money to spend on whatever, like software development, external software development and whatever. And then at that time, Nico was looking for a job, and he came to us like, hey, all these Matrix people are working for you. And but we didn't have any money more that we could spend on a regular basis, but we had this scholarship money, and we were like, okay, so that's basically what we can do. We can give you this, and you can continue work on Conduit, and we can give you the money, and you can work on that. And we wanted to give something back to the Matrix community, and that for us was a big chance to do this. Mm-hmm. And then in the end, because he wanted to use our CI power and everything, then we brought a Conduit into our repositories. But basically, right now, this is a fun project that runs us along on the side, that we just like cross-funded with the internship money that we still had left.
Right. Okay. So it's all about utilizing the different sources of funding, and just seeing who you can get on board. So to recap, then there's Krilla, then Marcel and JCG, then you had Soru, and then Nico, and then Timo.
Yeah.
That's plenty.
Yeah, but we have more people. But I think these are probably the most well-known in the Matrix universe. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone.
Well, we can splice in compliments for the other people there.
Perfect.
If we forget them. So, and let's talk about the contributions of these projects then, in particular Fluffy Chat, because as I understand it, you've got a custom Famedly client for mobile. Have I got that right? And then do you also have a web app, or what's the deal?
So so we built like Fluffy Chat, also our custom-made Famedly app, which is also based on Fluffy Chat, basically. They are both built with Flutter, so we have a multi-platform application, and it actually works in the web. It works on iOS and Android, then iPad OS, and of course Mac OS, Linux, and so on.
Yep. So Fluffy, the Flutter 2 release was announced last month, I think, or this month, in which they basically it's making official lots of different supported platforms, some of which were already kind of supported, but it's a really promising platform. Flutter. Yeah,
so I mean, Flutter for us, it was a bet in the beginning, because we were like, when we started developing, Flutter was in the beginnings and everything was beta, and we didn't know in which direction it would go. But we were seeing so many benefits in using Flutter as a cross-platform tool, so that we decided to go with it, and we got lucky. I mean, now everything's working. It is out of beta and working pretty good. So Flutter 2.0 basically was a huge improvement, especially in web, because web was horrible before. Web was so slow.
I mean, it's still essentially running a canvas, though, right? It's not like it's not creating DOM elements. It just blitz everything to a canvas. I mean, like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think it compiles first to JavaScript and then compiles to
Okay. Huh. Didn't know that. Okay. I thought it was WebAssembly, but that's interesting. All right. Cool. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm not the tech guy. You have to if you want to make sure, you have to talk to Kurla about that.
Well, I'm sure whoever watches this will let us know in the comments. Because that's the community. And then Conduit. Conduit, you say it's more of it's something on the side. It's not currently part of the core offering, but you still want to make sure that it gets funded.
Yeah, so basically that's also what we do with Fluffy Chat, right? So we don't have an immediate benefit from Fluffy Chat. We are not selling Fluffy Chat anywhere. We let our developers, so they're basically doing it in their free time. But like when they do something in their work time, sometimes it's a little bit overlapping. And so basically, we wanted to keep the project alive, and also it gives us the possibility to try out stuff. And that we can first introduce in the community, see how it works there, find bugs and everything before we introduce it in our commercial product, the Famedly app.
So this is an essential. I mean, it's first of all, it's an essential part of hiring young, passionate people. Is that you have to give them some space to work on. It was literally Christian's hobby before, so it would be almost impossible for you to separate them now. But do you want to talk more about the kind of company culture that you've got there?
Yeah, so I think for us, it was a very big topic in the beginning, because I think also the Matrix community is very diverse. You have like people from all genders, people from all sexual orientations and everything, And I see the rainbow flag in your background also, And
this room is full of color. Yeah.
So I think that's very important for us also, and we just let people be how they want to be. The whole encryption privacy thing is also important. That you can keep this stuff from anybody else to yourself, and to give you just this personal freedom, and so the mutual trust also for the employees. I think that's very important, that you can trust each other, and I think that's also what's one of the biggest things for our employees, and why they like working at Famedly.
That's really interesting, because obviously in terms of hiring, it's a self-selecting group. You're only hiring people who are already involved in this kind of work. But I wonder, one thing we see a lot is that in Germany, Matrix is very popular, and people always say it's the privacy and security aspects that are the most important things for them. Do you think that's how does that affect your business in terms of wanting to hire people who can make something secure? And also, why is the healthcare sector such a mess in terms of technology that, why are they so backwards, and you're able to disrupt them so easily?
So I think this is there's a lot of factors in place here. I mean, Germany in itself is like very, very focused on data security, data protection. I think this is also historically grown in Germany, because I think it's always like, it sounds so dramatic, but I think it does have something to do with our Nazi and or like Eastern German past, where where the people spied on each other to give to the authorities, and so there's a big focus on that, and also we have a decentralized system. We have like states inside the country of Germany, right?
Yeah.
So and every state,
you're federated.
Yeah, we're federated in itself, and every state has their own rules. So it kind of, and that's also the problem. Everybody has their own rules, and it's really hard to model that in a centralized architecture. So for us, basically, the matrix architecture was exactly what we were looking for, and this helps us now a lot because we can bring together all these different state laws and can say, okay, like in some German states, it's like there are laws that require you to run everything health related on hospital ground. So the servers they are using have to stand on hospital ground. So physically, right? So and this makes software as a service extremely hard in Germany, and like Matrix gives us the perfect possibility to bring this all together.
Yeah.
And in one state we can have software as a service, and in the other state we can have on-premise deployments, and that's
Yeah. I
really
see that.
perfect.
That is ideal, isn't it? How does do other you're focused in Germany right now, but do other markets look the same to you, or are you going to stay in Germany for the time being?
Yeah, I think right now we're focusing on Germany. I think because we're here, we have the largest benefits. I think because data protection laws are really, really strict here and everything. But as we have the GDPR rules now for Europe, I think there are other markets where this might be interesting. And then, of course, the German-speaking countries, Austria and Switzerland are also very relevant for us. But we have now with Shine, we have now an employee from Czech Republic, and she says basically we have the same. They have the same problem in Czech Republic.
Right.
So I think expanding to other countries definitely is an option for us, but we have to focus on the German market for now. Yeah, there's still a lot of stuff to do here.
Yeah. Germany's plenty in terms of market. I just wondered how you viewed the world. So there's a couple more things I wanted to cover. One is, what is the product? All we've said it's healthcare, but what is that really?
So basically, we have the biggest thing that we have is we have we distinguish between chats and requests. So we have a normal chat client where you can have groups, where you can have direct chats and everything. But we also introduced like patient-centered chat rooms, which is like basically you have groups, but you don't name them after the person, but you name them after the patient and everything. And then we have request section where people from other servers, like if you send a request from one server to another, like from a hospital to a doctor's office or something, then this is something that most of the time just is a concrete request that you can resolve, and then like mark it as complete, and then it's going to be closed automatically. So basically, that's the biggest distinguishing from a basic chat client, that we have this differentiation between these two.
That's interesting because it makes it sound like you're applying like a software ticketing system. Like, as in, I open this ticket and it has this feature, and then it can be resolved and closed.
Yeah, basically that's a little bit how this works. Yeah, because you have this, like in healthcare, like a lot of people are working together on one patient, but only for a brief time, you know.
Right.
And then he goes to another institution, and then he's going to be treated there. But still, the people that treat him there will need maybe some information from the other institution. So they kind of open a ticket there. They give them the information you need, and then it's going to be closed again.
Interesting. So. Okay, and that all has to be handled under the regulations of both ends of the thing. Yeah, I see. All right, this is, I mean, it sounds like a much needed tool in the industry. So the last thing I had in mind anyway, was that with your staff, you've been producing a few open source contributions, both within and without the Matrix ecosystem. Do you want to just go through some of those? I actually heard about one of them from JCG, who once he started talking about it, I think it was the only thing he'd thought about that day. So I heard quite a lot about it, but I'd love to hear more about it from you.
Yeah, so basically, we had the need arose to have some components for us as well. So the first component would be a monitoring component that we called Barad-dûr. I think that's the tower that holds Sauron's eye and everything. So so, and this is like for monitoring. It's kind of some special features. It's comparable to Panopticon,
yeah, I see.
That you built, but with some special things that our DevOps team needed.
That's so
and so, yeah, I think it's basically also the name was decided upon on having Matthew in mind, because he apparently is a huge Lord of the Rings fan. So,
maybe the biggest ever, yeah.
So yeah, like I mean the guys like you guys at Matrix, you're kind of heroes for a lot of our staff. So that's always kept in mind. And another thing that we're developed is Hedwig. So that's named after Harry Potter's owl. Yeah. And that's basically a push server written in Rust, because we needed a high reliability or high availability component. And I think Signal has some database in there, and so we wanted something without a database that just forwarded messages. So we were developing Hedwig. And then the last thing that that we made open source already is Howler, which is a notification manager.
On the device notifications.
I don't know exactly. Just JC was very proud of it, and he told me like it's a very super cool notification manager. But I think it's for notification from other components. Into Matrix.
Right. Okay.
I think I think the starting point for this was from GitLab notifications into Matrix.
Interesting, because funny, our own guy Halfshot, he's got something that does this, but I'm always interested to see other options.
I'm not 100% sure what the difference between these two is, because I'm not that deep in the notification.
No
thing,
problem.
but...
So we'll make sure to link to all of this stuff in the video description and the podcast description. Cool, Philip. Thank you so much for getting involved. Did you have any other comments you wanted to make?
No, I think I'm really happy. I'm really thankful that you gave us this opportunity to talk to you, and yeah, we're always interested in talking to people out of the Matrix community, and yeah, if people want to reach out to us also and ask about our projects, we're always happy to give some insights.
Awesome. We'll make sure we put all the contact details in the description. All right. Thanks, Philip, and thank you, Matrix Live.
Perfect.
Bye.
Bye.